My party today, my host says, quote, there is a tendency of imposition and a lot of people are out to resist it. Party members too appear to be on the same plane with those that are leading the struggle against imposition of candidates. My only hope is that we're able to be transparent, fair and just in the nomination process. Once we're able to do that, I will consider our party's chances in 2015 to be very bright. But if otherwise, I'm not too sure what that imposition will portend for us. End of quote. Well, hello and welcome. This is 60 Minutes with me, Angela Jitumobi. Thank you for joining me on the program today. Those were strong words, especially if you consider that they are coming from the mouth of the National Legal Advisor of the All Progressives Congress, APC. He's been a commissioner of two different ministries in Lagos State, that of Transport and Environment. Born on the 6th day of October 1966, he is a notary public with a doctorate degree in law from the University of Lagos. A former senior lecturer also at the University of Lagos Department of Private and Property Law. He was called to the Nigerian Bar in 1989. He's a member of Nigeria's Bar Association, the International Bar Association, and African Bar Association. An author of many books, including Nigeria's Law of Trusts. So, join me after the break. I'm counting down 60 minutes with MUIZ Banire, the National Legal Advisor of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Welcome back. Welcome, Mr. Banire. Thank you very much for coming on the program today.
My pleasure.
Now, in my introduction, I was quoting you where you said in your party there's a tendency of imposition, and your hope is that this time the party will be able to be transparent, fair and just in the nomination process. Otherwise, you are not too sure what that imposition will portend for the party. Since you said those words, have you changed your mind about that?
No, actually what has happened is that there has been an improvement over the situation now. Okay. A week or so thereafter, I made that statement.
Yes. The
leadership in Lagos, for example, convened a meeting, an emergency meeting, yes, in which, thank God, they saw wisdom, yes, in that statement, and agreed unanimously that everybody, all aspirants now must go through the primary process.
Right. So, are you reassured by that statement?
Well, I'm reassured to a certain extent. To the extent that at least conceptually we all agree, we are all on the same page now.
Yes.
So, the rest is being worked out now in terms of the modalities towards ensuring that we have a transparent, completely transparent process.
Yes. But truth is that you've always had primaries, even before the ACN metamorphosed into the APC. The party has always had primaries. I remember that Governors Fayemi and Fashola had always tried to make the distinction between the party endorsing you or thinking that you are the right candidate to party leadership, and differentiating between imposition. In other words, whether or not the party leadership is endorsing you, you still have to win at primaries.
I agree with that position that endorsement is quite different from going through the process of nomination.
Yes.
Anybody can endorse anybody. There is no crime in that. It's not sinful. But what is sinful is where you do not allow level playing grounds in terms of the conduct of the nomination process. It's not strange to us. In 1998, when Achuaju wanted to be the governor of Lagos State, we had direct primary all over between himself and Funsho Williams.
Yes.
All over the whole place. In 2003, we had something similar via an electoral college. In 2007, we had a direct primary for Governor Fashola.
Yes.
So, and the other one was endorsement and subsequently affirmation in 2011.
Yes.
So that has been the trend, but not entirely so in the past. In respect of some other positions in which people were just directly selected for those positions in those days.
Yes. You know, you're smiling while saying these things. And I'm sure you're smiling because you've heard all the angles. One of the angles being that, yes, even if the party leadership had always imposed, those imposed had performed. So can we not say that?
Maybe you want to enlighten me about those people imposed that have performed.
I mean, if people say that, for instance, Governor Fashola was imposed.
That is not correct. It's a grave misconception on the part of those who say so. I was an active participant in 2007. That was active direct primary. What really transpired then was that most of the candidates then felt aggrieved and decided not to participate in the process.
Aggrieved because? Because
they felt then that it was going to be imposed directly without any primary until the last minute when primary was not allowed. Right. By which time, my personal opinion that they were not that prepared enough for it because they never thought it would happen.
Okay.
So, but there was primary. In fact, I know that if nobody else, Fuad Oki, the current vice chairman, Lagos Central, should have the result of that primary with him if you want to look at it.
People listening to you in the last couple of weeks talking about this imposition thing, first are surprised that it is the National Legal Advisor of the APC crying out. It's like you're giving the opposition ammunition to hold. In other words, confirming what everyone had always thought about the APC or the ACN man metamorphosing into the APC about imposition.
You know, my job primarily in the party is to advise the party on legal issues, tell them how far they can go, adherence or compliance with rules and regulation.
Yes.
And I've not gone beyond that bit to say that, look, there's this tendency that I'm observing. Please do not go beyond that red line.
Yes.
Do not go beyond it. Let's comply with the rules of engagement so that at the end of the day, we don't get flawed.
What is the essence of complying with the rules of engagement if we are working towards an answer that we already know?
No, I don't understand that question.
What is the point of going through the due process of all that nomination?
Well, there are so many points. First and foremost, it's a legal requirement. The Electoral Act made pursuant to the Constitution of the Federal Republic, and there mandates all parties to go through that process. So we do not even have a choice legally in the first instance.
Right.
Secondly, morally, it gives us a sense of comfort as leaders of the party to say that we are providing everybody in the party equal opportunity to aspire to any position.
But do they really have equal opportunity?
Well, by the rules they have. By the rules they have. For me, if you ask me, I believe that it's not for them to take advantage of the rules. If you look at the guideline, just oppose it with the party constitution, the Electoral Act, and the Constitution of the Federal Republic. There is enough provision to guarantee the level playing ground for them. But the problem we've always been having, and which we are still having, is that some people just believe that they must just be not even endorse, because they use the word endorse. They use it in the context of imposition. Okay. Let me put it that way. Yes. That's the way they use it. Rather than going out there, campaign to their constituents,
convincing people
that I'm the right candidate, the right candidate that should stand for you.
Yes.
Rather than do that, they prefer to run to me, run to Governor, run to Achuaju, run to other party leaders to influence the process for them.
And that must leave the party leaders in a very funny position.
Yeah, it does, really, because for me, not only leave them in a funny position, it does not encourage popular participation, it does not encourage good mobilization into the party, it does not ultimately even bring out the best candidate for the party. So, on all fourth, I believe that is not the apt thing to do.
Yes. Does it matter at the end of the day then, if we say it will be a level playing field, everyone will have the same opportunity, what is the point of endorsing anyone then?
You know, endorsement for me is not even a crime. It's a question of preference.
Right.
Maybe because I have good followership, I can say, look, this is my preference. And some people, maybe who are my followers, might just say, oh, if his tendency is towards this direction, yes, he probably should gravitate towards the same direction.
Yes.
That is endorsement, but does not automatically mean that that person must by all means be the candidate as against the popular wish.
You recall before the ACN became the APC, former chairman of the ACN, Chief Bisi Akonde, I remember his famous words where he said, imposition is our style. If you don't like it, you know, go to another party. I'm looking at it now from the angle of those who are allegedly doing the imposition. Is it not unfair to them that having come this far, gotten away with it, so to speak, in the minds of many people, in saying what you're saying, you're changing the rules of the game midway into the game?
I'm not even the one changing the rule. It's what the Constitution of Nigeria and by extension the Electoral Act and our party constitution mandates. Yes. One. Secondly, you must also recognize the fact that we are talking of a new political platform, All Progressive Congress, where we have, which is a bigger party, and it's a party of so many interests.
Yes.
So what we used to do before in our respective legacy parties cannot be made applicable in the new party. Because what they used to do in CPC there might be different from what ABGA used to do,
yes, different
from what ANPP used to do, and what we used to do in ACN. So now we have all resolved to say, look, these are the rules of engagement. And again, check out our slogan, change.
Yes.
That's why we're saying that we are migrating from where we were before to a new level.
To a new place.
Yes.
And do you agree with those who think that the shadow of Asiwaju and his influence in the ACN is still looming large over the APC? And because of that, a lot of people are still wary of the APC because they think his influence is still there, and there's still a possibility that the impositions, alleged impositions of the ACN will still happen in the APC.
Well, to be candid, I have no quarrel with influence. Anybody can have influence. There's nothing wrong with that. It's honestly, it's not criminal, nor is it sinful,
yes,
to have influence. I was on Classic FM and there was a question in respect of Ogun State to say what the problem is in Ogun State is, yes, because Aremo Ochoba was not allowed to be the kingpin there, yes, and the governor wanted to be the kingpin and all that. And
they were sharing positions.
Yes, and I told him, look, all these things you are talking about, kingpin or no, it's inapplicable now because there are clear rules of engagement. There's no room for such again. So there's even no need for conflict. If only we adhere to those rules. Once we adhere to those rules, those, yes, issues of conflict will be eliminated naturally.
Yes, but they are not being eliminated.
Well, what I believe is now in the hand of the aspirants themselves. As far as the rules are concerned, they are well spelled out.
And you don't think that there's ways and loopholes to make sure that the preferred candidate emerges?
Well, from what I know,
yes,
honestly, the guideline of the party is clear and to a large extent extremely disposed toward everybody, equitably disposed, let me put it that way. It now depends on maybe the operators, as is normal in our environment here, yes, because most of the time it's not the rules that are problematic, it's the, yes, operators of the rule.
Yes.
Once the rules are complied with. I tell you, there is no need for anybody to be jittery or uncomfortable. It's just that we must apply the rules fairly.
Was the party worried when you said all these things about imposition, when you first voiced that concern?
No, you know, it's not something that is extraordinary. It's just what I've said in summary.
Yes.
Is simply that, look, we've got to comply with our rules and regulations.
Yes, well, many people would expect that you wouldn't come out publicly to chastise your party.
No, it's not being chastised. That's what I said. There's this tendency that I've observed. We need to quickly tell. I can't, for example, be going one by one to each state and so on and so forth. But there must be a forum in which you must be able to express your personal opinion.
Yes.
That's my own. For example, somebody else might disagree with me and say, no, there's no such tendency. It is his right. It is his opinion. My opinion is that I'm seeing this thing quickly. Please, let's tell it quickly before we record any casualty or fatality as a result of that.
Yes.
That's all. So there's nothing for the party to be worried about that, because what we are saying is that we want to say that we are a party of the rule of law. And we've always been saying that convincingly and unequivocally, that as far as the compliance with the rule of law is concerned, we want to be seen as being different from other political parties.
Are there any other considerations for who will emerge, the candidate? You know, some people have been pushing for a Christian governor for the first time in Lagos State. Will that be one of the considerations?
Well, if you ask me again, some people are pushing, but I do not subscribe to it.
Why not?
Simple. I believe that at the stage we are, either in Lagos State or at any level whatsoever, what must continue to govern us is competency. Whether you are a Muslim or a Christian, and like our governor said in Lagos State, is that is the man that is going to be the governor, if he's a Christian, will do Christian road separately from Muslim road, or provide Christian water separately, or provide different school for them and all this thing. No, it's the same thing that the man will discharge. So as far as we are concerned, these are some of the drawbacks we have in our system. These are some of the primordial sentiment that is continuing to overwhelm us and overwhelm the nation as well as the state. Because at the end of the day, when you are reducing such an important office to the issue of religion, then it makes mockery of the whole process. That, okay, you just need to be a Christian to be this, or it's just like saying in the presidential, you need to be a Christian or you need to be a Muslim to be a president. These factors, in fact, all the factors on a personal level, I disagree with them. Quota, ethnicity, religion, all these primordial things. What must continuously govern all of us is the competency of the man to handle our affairs. Can this man deliver? What is his pedigree? Those are the things that must influence us.
Join us again after the break. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, it's 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajetumobi. On my hot seat today, MUIZ Banire, the National Legal Advisor of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Now, these are some of the men cleared for the governorship ticket of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Obafemi Hamzat is the current Commissioner for Works. Senator Ganiu Solomon, a current member of Nigeria's Senate, and Senate Minority Whip. Right Honorable Adeyemi Ikuforiji is the current Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly. Akinwumi Ambode is a former Accountant General of Lagos State. Dr. Leke Piton is a former Commissioner for Health, Lagos State. Tayo Ayinde, Tokunbo Wahab, Olashupon Shashore, Senior Advocate of Nigeria and a former Attorney General of Lagos State. Dr. Kasali, a former Special Duties Commissioner of Lagos State. Now, there was a meeting apparently convened to produce a consensus candidate ahead of the primaries for the governorship candidate of the APC. Were you invited to that meeting and did you attend?
Well, I'm not aware of any such meeting at all. I'm not aware of any such meeting.
Is there any decision by the APC that they will be considering fielding a consensus candidate?
Well, I would have thought so, but as of now that I'm talking to you, I'm not aware of any such platform to encourage them to have a consensus candidate. I'm not aware of any up to now.
Okay. Do you personally have any ambition to govern Lagos State?
Not at all.
Have you ever?
Never. Never. You see, we all have different things that defines us.
Yes.
That's the truth. And for now, public office, if not even public place, is not something that is that so much attractive to me. I have some other issues that I'm dealing with and I believe that should command my attention more for now. But it's not an area that I even have any soft spot for as we're talking now.
Do you have a candidate?
Well, I'm unable to even have, because as the national officer of the party, we are meant to be neutral. So I cannot even have.
Do you believe that anyone has been anointed?
Well, by who? Maybe I should start by saying by who.
By the leadership of the party, the top leadership.
Well, if you say leadership, you use the word leadership. Yes. None, to my knowledge. None to my knowledge.
If individual leaders have anointed people?
Well, it depends. There are usually speculations. Yes. I tell you, for example, there was a time that we had speculation that Governor Fachala had endorsed Dr. Amsat. Yes. They moved from there. Recently, they are saying, no, he has endorsed Shupo. Yes. Now, we have Achuajo on the other hand, he has endorsed somebody. So, people continue to endorse and endorse and endorse. So, if you like, call them anointment.
Yes.
So, if the anointment goes up for I'm sure that, to the best of my knowledge, leadership has not done anything like that, to the best of my knowledge, except I'm excluded, I'm not aware.
You don't think that there will be acrimony at the end of that contest, whoever emerges?
Well, I do not want to believe that there will be one, once we are able to provide them a level playing ground, a very transparent, fair, and just process. There shouldn't be acrimony arising from that one. Where acrimony and bitterness comes in is where people see clearly that they've not been given equal opportunities. And that is why, as much as possible, at least as far as I know, as far as the rules are concerned, we've ensured that as much as possible there will be level playing ground.
Yes.
But like I said, there is the aspect of operation or implementation of the rule, which you can never rule out any possibility. But all the same, as far as the party is concerned at the national, we have done what I consider to be the best possible.
Right. As we speak, the primaries are yet to hold. Can you give us an idea of how many people are interested in that governorship seat?
Well, I'm not even sure of the figure again, but I know it looks between 11 and 13 now.
Yes, okay. They're all original members of the ACN, or are there people from the CPC? You know, now there's a mixture in that APC. Well,
I do not even know. I can only speak specifically of some people that I know.
Yes.
For example, there is one of the aspirants, Mr. Sutton. I'm not used to him. I don't know much about him, for example.
Okay.
But there are some others that I know. For example, if you talk about Solomon, now we've always been together, right from AD days. There is Biton, right from AD days.
Yes.
There is Kuforiji too, who had been around for a long time. Dr. Amsat too. Tokumbawa, he's been around there too, from Ekpe.
So that leaves you in a very awkward position. If some of them have been your colleagues in the Executive Council of Lagos State while you were commissioner, some are friends, you know, old-time friends, you know, so where will you be leaning towards? Will you be a delegate? Will you be part of those who will be choosing the candidate?
Statutory delegate. I'm a statutory delegate.
So they will be lobbying you?
Yes, yes. My situation is even precarious. As much as possible, I try to be neutral in the entire process, because at the end of the day, I have a significant role to play post-primaries. So I'm extremely being cautious and careful to what extent I can go, even if permissible by the rules.
Yes, being careful.
Yeah.
So what are the criteria that the APC will consider for selecting the person that will be the candidate? What do you think will be the essential things the APC will be looking for in the man that will take over from Fashola?
Well, it's not the APC this time around so much. It's much of the party people themselves and legations in general. I don't know what they were looking for, but if you ask me, like I've always said, it must be somebody that is extremely experienced, passionate about Lagos, competent to handle their affairs, dedicated to the issues, and be able to ensure the continuity in the process. Those are very key factors.
Ensure the continuity.
Yes.
Why is that important?
It's important because, you see, once there is a break, it's like trying to make a statement and you break it now, and another person takes it up, it becomes disjointed.
Yes.
That's the kind of thing you find that if, for example, there's a blueprint in which you have been, or a roadmap you've been following, and suddenly a different person entirely comes in, the tendency is to say, look, I have my own ideas, I don't want to follow this one, this project that is going, I have to stop this one, this is one, and at the end of it, that draws you back.
Yes.
And it's one of the undoings in our system there.
So we're looking for continuity here in Lagos. You personally don't care if it's a Christian or a Muslim?
It doesn't matter to me at all.
As long as the person has capacity?
Yes.
So you said you're looking for continuity. Let's look then at the opposition party, because some people are saying if Lagos APC doesn't get it right with its primaries, there is a possibility that it will lose this election to the PDP. What do you say to that?
That used to be the situation then. I'm hopeful now because of the new development that I've told you that now is now agreed, because it's not even a matter of governorship, it's everything.
Yes.
All the positions must be freely contested for. A situation either to not receptive, but now everybody is on the same page on that, everybody should go through the same process. Of course, that to a large extent will save us that kind of situation that we could have had in the past.
Yes. And I don't know, what the APC is looking at. Who, for instance, can they consider to be the great opposition on the other side? I mean, they're calling Jimmy Agbaje, for instance, the game changer. So is the APC worried about these individual names that the PDP is throwing up? The former defense minister, Musili Obanikoro, is also there.
For us, I don't think we are that worried. For me, if you ask me,
yes.
Like yesterday I was asked about who, as between Obanikoro and Jimmy Agbaje, would I be uncomfortable with? Well, I said Jimmy Agbaje, but I read the write-up by Dele Momodu in this day, and I discovered that he made some pertinent point about Obanikoro again, which will also give you some discomfort again.
Yes.
But beyond that, I believe that once we are united in our party, they will take a far distant position, very far distant position.
You will be difficult to beat.
Very, not only difficult to beat, in fact, the position they will take will be so distant that you will think that they never engage in the contest.
Why did you change your mind? Yes, you read Dele Momodu.
Yes, because he made so many solid points.
Yes.
As far as the former defense junior minister is concerned.
Yes. But Jimmy Agbaje has been with you. He was with you.
He was with us, he was with us before, but not so much active politically with us then.
Okay.
Unlike Obanikoro, I thought he was much more politically active with us.
Was that because maybe Jimmy Agbaje was more of a technocrat?
It was more of a Fenifere man then.
Okay. But Obanikoro is the politician's politician.
He was actively involved with us in those days.
So you don't consider that at this time now, with the new developments in the APC, that the PDP will offer you any great resistance?
At all, I don't.
In all the positions?
Well, it depends on what happens ultimately. Like I told you, once we are able, in my very strong view, to able to throw a popular candidate within our platform, there will be no mash. That's my very, very strong position.
you've repeated it here, that as long as people emerge via transparent primaries, it will be okay. Will it be okay if the people emerging still remain family members, for instance? Like in Abia State, where the governor is supposedly going to the Senate, his son is supposedly going to the House of Assembly, or even in Lagos here, the former defense minister, Obanikoro, going for governorship, his son also going for something else. Does it make it all right if
honestly, I have no quarrel with that again. So far, that they are product of transparent, fair and just process. I have no problem. That is what the people want. Why not?
Linked to your point you've made about not caring whether it's a Muslim or a Christian, looking now at the presidential elections and the news we read that possibly Governor Fashola has been dropped as a vice presidential option because of his religion. Should it matter? I'm reading.
It shouldn't matter at all.
A lot of comments.
For me, it shouldn't matter. All these primordial sentiments draw us back. I'm telling you, until we realize that we have to start ensuring that what determines those who want to do our affairs are qualified by way of merit, we continue to have the challenges we are constantly going through. And I believe it shouldn't have been it. Governor Fashola is in Lagos, for example, now. Let anybody come out and say, this is what this man has done as far as, for example, just loosely saying it,
yes,
favoring one religion against the other,
yeah,
or promoting one religion against the other. No such indication. As far as this is concerned, people must benefit.
But you know, they say that if he's fielded, say he's fielded with a Buhari or an Atiku, for instance, as their running mate, people say the APC will be playing into the hands of the opposition that has always touted the APC as an Islamic party.
Well, let me confess to you that truly, in the kind of situation that we are now,
yes,
it's difficult to advocate that position that I earlier on advanced, because there's so much tension and mutual suspicion all over the land now. But barring that, nothing will be wrong with it. But right now, we just must pay attention to those areas now, because right now there's so much tension in that area.
Yes.
Now, so you must make sure to study as much as possible. You do balancing now.
Otherwise,
it could be dangerous.
Do you think the APC will make a headway in that presidential election?
I'm quite optimistic.
With the right candidate?
Oh, certainly. Certainly.
Join us again after the break. Welcome back. My concluding moments now with the National Legal Advisor of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Now, still on getting the right candidates, and we're staying with the presidential election. Has the party zoned the presidential ticket to the north?
Well, I will not use the word zone, but there is an understanding within the party hierarchy that the candidate should come from the northern part of the country.
Whether or not merit will play a role?
Well, our expectation is that in the screening and determination of their candidacy, merit will play a significant role.
And if people are interested, but they're not from the north, in spite of the party's understanding that, you know...
Certainly we cannot stop them. As a legal practitioner, as far as my knowledge of the constitution of the party and the constitution of the... I don't think we can legally disable them or disqualify them on that basis.
They will get the form, they'll be allowed to purchase the form and all that.
Yes, please.
What do you think going into the presidential election now will be the main challenge for the APC?
I don't think we have any challenge as far as I'm concerned. The only challenge that possibly I can foresee is the determination of our candidates. Once we are able to resolve that, we are home and done, we can start cruising to victory.
People think you guys have left it too late for if a candidate, a figure to emerge as the strong person.
There's a process, there's a calendar from the Independent National Electoral Commission. You cannot jump the gun.
So it's easier for the PDP because they have only one person.
Yes, they don't have only one person. I think that they have about 2 or 3 now, interestingly.
But I thought Tafawa Balewa had stepped down.
What of the Mrs. Abiola?
Coming back to Lagos State now, because that's the one that is in front of us. Governor Fashola says to me that he knows that the APC will retain Lagos State. He's confident about that. You share his view?
Yes, I've told you my fear before, which has been addressed already, so I'm quite optimistic to call it.
What about all these other unsolved matters? There's still some people feeling sore about the alleged deportation, for instance, from Lagos State.
Deportation?
Yes.
You mean the one concerning the Easterners then?
Yes.
That has been far resolved.
You don't think it will be...
No, that won't have any impact. It won't be. It won't be.
And banning of motorcycle riders, for instance?
No, it's regulation, not banning.
You know, because these are the points. When you read comments, you know, in newspapers, you know, these are the things that the People's Democratic Party is going to use to fight the APC, that it is not a party for the poor people.
That is not correct. That would be a misconception. They are still around. It's just a matter of regulating their operations, which is normal in any system. In Abuja, they are not even there at all. They are not even there. PDP control Abuja, for example, and I'm sure it's a couple of other states now.
Yes. Yeah. So you have said you are not going, you are not interested in the governorship seat. Coming out of former Governor Tinubu's cabinet, did you ever harbor such ambition?
I've never had that ambition. You know, some of us just believe that in whatever capacity we can find ourselves, even as an ordinary Nigeria, we can continuously contribute to the improvement of the society. You don't have to hold a particular position or post for you to perform. In fact, particularly these days that the thing is beginning to assume the shape of a stigma. Yes. Because when you are called to service these days, the perception generally, even among the elite, is like an invitation to come and shop.
Yes.
So it's not that so much attractive to somebody like me. Again, honestly speaking, that's the truth of the matter. That once they see you there now, everybody just enter that assumption that, look, this is our time, or we have to make the best of it too, in terms of benefiting yourself.
You've talked about this stigma in the last couple of weeks, and you know, it's something you're repeating and repeating. Is it that people still think...
Honestly, it's annoying to me. It's that bad. I tell you why it's even so bad. Even up to now in my local government, there's one fairly elderly man. Each time he sees me, he will say, in Yoruba, and I feel sad about it. And I say, so, once you are in a public office now, everything is about shopping, embezzlement, misappropriation. It's frustrating, it's discouraging. And honestly, not all of us have that capacity or the shock absorber to take on such stigma. In fact, the worst aspect of it that I even hate is the aspect of being a politically exposed person. Yeah. You either can do any transaction without you being at times over-investigated because you have decided to work in government or participate or near that arena. These are things that ordinary people who are not within that process, they don't go through. They do it, some of these things. I know so many of my colleagues, junior, senior, they can wake up tomorrow morning, Now, I say, I'm buying a house in the United States. I'm buying a house in Dubai. I want to acquire a business in UK. They do it freely.
Yes.
But let the MUIZ Banire of this world or others within the political arena say they want to even buy a bicycle. You want to transfer. You have to give the history of your life on how you have been able to legally earn that money that you are transferring. These are things that honestly is frustrating on its own. Now, back home now, for people to now see you in that light again, and these are rogues. All they do, they don't mind them. They use their money, they misappropriate their money. It's not something that I don't think I have capacity to continue to be.
You've left office for a number of years now. Do you find that people are still attributing your success?
Not only even attributing it, even up to now, anything, once they see you, anything that you do, their perception is as if you are even still earning something from the government or taking something from the government itself. They still cannot even isolate you from public office.
As a former commissioner.
Even something see you as, in fact, I get embarrassed that I don't even assume that you are still in government. And before you know it, even any investment that you go into now, some will even say, even if you take the whole loan that they want to do it, people will say, don't mind him. It's our money. You think you don't know how they do it? At times, I look at myself and I sympathize with myself that why have I put myself in this kind of situation like this? I wonder how people are able to bear it that idea that are still in that arena. But of course, some people must continuously be there anyway. But that's my own personal view.
Yes. And so that view has put you off completely.
At least for now. Maybe by the time we have, in quote, enough sanity in the system and perception. Because the public perception about public officials is not that impressive at all. It's very, very, for me, it's worrisome. Honestly, it's worrisome. Maybe it may well be the way some of these public officials carry on at times, gives them that kind of impression.
Yes.
But for somebody like me, I believe I have conscience and there is a limit to what I can even engage in. And when I'm now perceived in a completely different light than what I am,
yes,
I feel bitter. And it's discouraging on its own, if not frustrating. So as much as possible, I want to distance myself from all those areas for now.
Are people surprised that you are actually in legal practice, that you run chambers and you come to work and stuff like that?
Yes, of course they are. Particularly when I resume in court.
Yes.
A lot of my colleagues were shocked. What are you doing here again? You should have left this arena for us. You should have consulted. Even in court, I'm trying to make just of commissioner, why are you here again? I'm not a commissioner, I'm a legal practitioner.
Yes.
And I'm back to my job. And that is one of the things that I personally also feel that we must continuously also look out for. People must, as of necessity, have alternative contact address. They must have another job. They must not be put. This concept of professional politician must go. They must have job. That is what brings desperation into this process. If you have alternative job, you can't be that desperate because you know that you have your sustenance. And it's not all of us that want to go the other direction. My prayer to God every morning is to grant me lawful sustenance. I don't ask for any manner of sustenance. Lawful one from God. And as much as possible, I work out towards that direction. So that at the end of the day, I do not have polluted means of sustenance. And I believe that that is another thing that we must start looking at, for that those who want to govern us must have alternative contact address.
Alternative contact address. What do you mean by that?
They must have job, right, their primary job or profession or business that they are doing before going into either government or even politics. Yeah. Because for me, it will stem the tide of this desperation. Now,
the former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has allegedly listed ground rules at a meeting held on Sunday, November 9, where he said he was not personally involved with any of the candidates or alleged endorsement of them. And a lot of people are attributing that statement now to you, the result of your complaint. They say it came after you raised that alarm?
You know, I told you there has been a lot of positive development after it.
Yes.
Which is good for the system.
Yes.
At least a lot of clarification here and there, a lot of decisions, a lot of meetings. Yes. In fact, consistent meetings have been going on here and there. But of course, that is not to say that all is still well. We still have to perfect all these things in order to confront the opposition in Lagos State.
So, I'm trying to see a picture here of when the party leadership would have first read those complaints. Did people reach out to you? Yeah, Mr. Banire, why did you
Yes,
say
you see, the truth of the matter is that truly some did. But the manner in which they did is even funny. Some of the leaders even contacted me and they will confirm and say, thank God that we, at least ultimately we are able to get somebody to be able to correct some of these things. We pray for you. And I then will start wondering that, why is it impossible for you people to say the right thing, to correct the situation when you notice the anomaly? Why is it impossible? And for me, honestly, I don't think that I've said anything extraordinary, because my system, my quarrel is not personal. Yes. It's systemic. Yes. It's a system that I'm quarreling with to say, look, let this system be properly run. There's nothing wrong in that. But somehow along the line, I don't know the perception of the members of the public, but somehow along the line, it starts giving me the impression as if there's so much scarcity of truth in Nigeria. Yes. That people must now start perceiving one as an exception. It's funny, it's strange. But did you get that feeling that the way people reacted to that statement, did you think people were shocked that you were actually saying these things? Yes, truly. Some were shocked. But honestly speaking, I do not believe that there's anything I've said is extraordinary. Like one of our leaders said, and he said, look, as far as I'm concerned, it's a wake-up call to us to do the right thing and prepare ourselves. And that's the context in which I would ordinarily want to see it also. That say, look, let's put our house in order quickly, please. There is no time. Let's do the right thing quickly. That's all. And interestingly, by way of humility, yes, I will say, okay, all of us, including myself, will be part and parcel of this process over the years. But now it's no more fashionable. Let's move with time. Let's move with the current trend. That's all. That shouldn't agitate anybody. That's interesting. It's very interesting. That was one of the reasons I wanted to speak with you. People look at you as one of the old school. You've been there from the days of AD, and you've been coming forward with, you know, the former governor, Tinubu. And so the shock when you said that, everyone thought there must have been a falling out between yourself and Asiwaju Tinubu. Again, another wrong perception. We've not fallen out. There's no strain as far as I'm concerned. Look, if truly I'm his product, then he should be proud of me. Because one of the things that you will ordinarily do is to be fearless. Or one of the things that is being acknowledged for is his courage, fearlessness, confrontational stance on issues and all those things. Yes. And if we've undergone that training, yes, and now we cannot even demonstrate some little aspect of it, then we are a failure. So I do not see it. But you know, quite naturally, a sycophant will always start dancing all over the whole place, yes, crying more than the bereaved. But as far as I'm concerned, there's no strain between us at all. Yes, everything is still okay. To the best of my knowledge, I've not seen anything otherwise. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Banire, for having us in your office. My pleasure. Well, since this conversation with MUIZ Banire, the National Legal Advisor of the All Progressives Congress, APC, was recorded, Akinwumi Ambode, a chartered accountant and former Lagos State Public Administrator, had clinched the governorship ticket of the APC. The governorship primaries held on the 4th day of December 2014 at the Onikon Stadium on Lagos Island. And that's it for this week. Don't forget to like 60 Minutes with Angela on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter, Angela at 60 Minutes. And you can watch this and other past episodes of the program on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/TEDTV60. I'm Angela Ajitumobi. Thank you for watching.